For me, it's really important to be connected to like the community and our direct neighbors. I'm realizing about 50% of everyone that's coming in our doors is coming in almost every other day. That is really cool.
That's really special.
That made me feel really good, and that we're doing something right. So then it became, okay, if the same people are coming in every day, it's less about making every single thing perfect and like R&D and figured out, and more about just making it really exciting and new and tasty and fun for these people that are going to see this change happening.
Hi everyone, I'm Lee, founder and chief enthusiast at Healthy Anywhere, coming at you this week with a special episode filmed on site at the newly opened Ojai Roots Market in Ojai, California. Now, this place is an absolute gem. It's a collaboration between a local organic farm and a talented chef with international Michelin-Star chops, okay? They run an ingredient-driven grab-and-go market, wine bar, farm CSA, and artisan retail. It's a wonderful, tranquil place you don't want to miss if you're ever north of LA. Their story is remarkable, so let's get right into it. I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Lee, founder and chief enthusiast at Healthy Anywhere, and this week we're on site in beautiful Ojai, California with farm chef Peter Marcus at Ojai Roots Market, which is super unique.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in the backyard of this really relaxing wine garden in this beautiful setting.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just opened.
Yeah, we're about 5 weeks in now, so we're just getting rolling.
Oh my goodness, congratulations.
Thank you.
So if we could take a step back, I'd love to hear about your background and how you got into restaurants and food.
Absolutely. Personally, I grew up in Ojai, which was really cool. So I grew up with the farmer who started Ojai Roots, and my first job was actually at the Ojai Valley Inn. I was 16, learning how to cook. From there, I went to culinary school, ended up in New York cooking, cooked in Denmark, Australia, Canada. So really bounced around, kind of followed the Michelin track, fine dining scene, tasting menus, all that. And then the farmer who started it all, we started chatting a couple years back, and there was this big idea to take all of this amazing stuff from the farm and be able to showcase it to the community. And that was what they were really missing, was like that direct connection. They didn't love doing the farmers markets. It was like this whole thing. They really wanted what they described as, their permanent farmers market. And for me, with the hospitality background, I just love cooking for people, kind of serving. So it was this kind of natural partnership that started to form about a year ago with him and his partner. And then they called me one day and basically said, we found a location. So let's figure out how to kind of make the farm shop how it is.
Wow.
So we started only about 5 months ago, and we had this place up and running in about 4.5 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
It was quick, and it was funny because none of us, I've worked in restaurants forever, and they've worked on farms and fashion, but none of us had really built it. So every day, the concept changed, which, I think if we did it again, maybe we would have strategized a little more final outcome. But it was really cool that we said, let's have a coffee culture, to have a whole espresso machine. And then it was, actually we're going to do something different. And then it was, we'll do smoothies, or we'll do this, we'll do that. And it kind of just started to naturally fall into what it is now, which is we describe as a farm shop. So it's showcasing all our farm ingredients. It includes grab and go sandwiches, salads, little deli sides, green juices. So that, I think, is becoming our signature, is juices. I think Ojai's really been wanting some good juice. Yeah. So the juices, and then at night we call it the wine garden, which is where we are, in the wine garden. So we have a small glass list. We do kind of Spanish inspired tapas, and kind of just a lot of hanging out, relaxing, good music, and very casual vibes.
It's beautiful, and it's so remarkable to hear how quickly this came really together. Yeah. If we rewind back, what inspired you to go the culinary route and to get into food at such a young age?
Yeah, it's funny. I feel very fortunate because I knew my whole life, since I was 3 years old, that all I wanted to do was be a chef.
Wow.
It was the only thing I ever wanted to do. My mom always has stories of me trying to cook eggs when I was 4 years old, and trying to teach my babysitters how to make eggs. So I had no There's no question of what I want to do. You know, that was all I wanted to do was cook. I still get like these funny stories of like parents of my friends in classes of making for like dioramas for like book reports. I would make cakes and then make them like the diorama. So I always knew I wanted to be in food and cooking, and it was kind of just from high school, natural progression into culinary school, and from there into kind of moving around different restaurants. And it started with basically like, where's my family living and how can, you know, who are they connected with? And then very quickly the culinary world, especially the fine dining world, is very small, and it's becomes really easy to jump around. And it's, oh, I worked with you here at this restaurant for a couple months, and now you're at this restaurant, and it's, you know, through social media, hey, can I come hang out for 3 months?
So were you in like Noma?
I wasn't at Noma.
Okay.
I was at a restaurant called Cadeau.
Okay.
It's actually about like 10 minutes down the road, which is funny.
Okay.
Much smaller team. You know, same level of fine dining, right? We were doing 20 plus courses to like 23 people a night, only like 7-8 chefs. So from there, I learned from them, you know, preservation and locality of ingredients. And that's hugely, you know, a huge part of what we're doing here is a lot of these techniques I learned in Denmark about how to preserve, because working with the farm and seasonal, you have a ton of like the same things for a short amount of time, and then it moves. So
Yeah.
we'll get dropped off, you know, 100 pounds of tomatoes, and we're a small shop. We're not going to use it all. So what do I do with it? And it's, you know, we'll dehydrate it, and we'll make tomato powder. We'll ferment it into tomato juice. We'll, you know, obviously add all our salads with it, make pasta sauce with it. So we're trying to do lots of really cool techniques to like preserve all of these things and make little products that people can take home and cook with themselves. That's another way of doing it.
And I imagine here in California, you've got the luxury of a bit more like a longer growing season, a lot more produce than even in Denver, but then to apply those creative tactics, you're getting a lot more out of it, I imagine.
Yeah, and Ojai specifically, we're in this amazing kind of microclimate where we get cold enough weather that we can do like seasonal crops, right? Like grapes, stone fruit, right? We need cold enough weather so that in the wintertime they will drop their leaves and they will be pruned back. But it's also temperate enough throughout the entire year that we can pretty much grow year round. So we have this crazy range of crops we can grow and throughout the whole season. Winter time for many people is like this very dreary time. For us, it's like just filled with the most amount of citrus you can imagine. Just like crazy amount of Ojai pixies, which is these little tangerines and grapefruits and lemons and oranges. So it's fun here. Like every month, you know, there's this new rotation through our greenhouse of all these incredible new things happening. And our farm is amazing, and they do a really good job of working with the seasons, but also we use greenhouses so we can amplify our production and be really, really efficient. And we grow really vertical and really tight. So yeah, everything about this whole place is just amazing and definitely very fortunate to be part of it.
Yeah. And so you were a farm chef in the true sense of the word.
It's funny, we made that title up. I love that title. I think it's the best title.
Awesome. I was like, okay, this is great.
I have no interest in being like a head chef or like a, you know, I think I just want to be a farm cook. I was a farm cook, and then I actually hired a couple people to help me in the kitchen. So then we said, all right, I'll be a farm chef, but they're the farm cooks now. But it's true, it is. Like before we opened, especially when I had more time, every morning started on the farm. So it was me and the farmers, and we got to, you know, I got to be part of starting our vineyard on the farm. We got to part of, you know, picking, you know, 5,000 pounds of avocado to make our first test batch of avocado oil, and picking citrus. We do these produce boxes. That's really how the farm started. Before I joined, it was these delivered boxes to the community. And every Wednesday, now it's Fridays, we bring all this amazing stuff together. We pack all the boxes, and then they get sent out in delivery cars for everyone in the town. And we still do it, which is great. So when I had more time, I was a lot more involved in that as well, with picking everything, getting it all together, and then being able to like help. So I really I'm happy that I got to start with everyone here before we were open, partly because I got to help build this, but because then I really got to see like from the ground up where it's all coming from, how our systems of how we're moving it. And as we're doing new things, it's really great to imagine like, okay, how is it? Someone wants to do a party. Well, I need to tell our farmers, you know, 2 weeks before about the overpicking for this one day. So There's a lot of logistics involved, more so than when I was just at a restaurant. It was like text my supplier, food comes, but it makes it better.
Yeah, and so I know you're doing something really unique here, like at really special places, Michelin-Star places, a nightly changing menu. And so you said that daily your menu is changing.
Yeah.
And so talk to me a bit about how that works, like from beginning to end, like how do you start the day and pick the ingredients and then figure out what the menu is going to be? And is that affecting cold case and the wine garden? Like what's the scope of that?
Yeah, I think so. Right now in the wine garden, it's a little more of like a set menu because it's more charcuterie kind of themes.
Yeah.
We do like some crudités, so that's what do we get, right? That changes daily. One of the first questions my cook asks me when he gets in is what's on the crudité today? And it's always a mix of pickled and fresh things because I want to also showcase things that happened earlier, and that's how we preserve. But the cold case, the juices we're keeping, those are like R&D recipes. We really like nailed all of our percentages and what we're using. But yeah, the grab and go deli sides and these other little fun kind of things we'll put in the fridge are really about what we have. So 10 minutes ago, we have a bunch of zucchini right now. And we were discussing, okay, what are we gonna do with the zucchini? And one of my cooks said, I love making zucchini bacon, where we like slice it thin, dehydrate it slightly, toss it in brown sugar and Worcestershire and kind of, dry it out. And it's perfect, let's do it right now. Like right now, doesn't matter, let's just do it. Slice it and get it going right away. I think that a lot of restaurants, because you have to R&D a lot. And I think we have a lot more flexibility where we have stuff and it's like, let's just use it right now. And as long as it's really tasty, we don't have a menu written anyways. It's all just displayed in front of you. Yeah. So if I make 6, that's all it's going to be. And we're just going to put 6 there and that's just going to use up what we have. So we have a ton of freedom to do like all these really fun things. And for me, it's really important to be connected to like the community and our direct neighbors. I'm realizing about 50% of everyone that's coming in our doors is coming in almost every other day, just about.
Wow.
And that started, at 20%. And I was like, oh, that's a good amount of like regulars. And then all of a sudden it was like every day I'm seeing the same people and I'm knowing their names. And that is really cool.
That's really special.
That made me feel really good. And, that we're doing something right. So then it became, okay, if the same people are coming in every day, it's less about making every single thing perfect and like R&D'd and figured out, and more about just making it really exciting and new and tasty and fun for these people that are going to see this change happening. Even in our retail part of the shop, we're always trying to like re-merchandise, put new flowers, new assortments, because we have so many products and sometimes it is, you miss them. So we move things around, try to get different eyes on it. And then same thing with our grab and goes. We're realizing, we did a pasta salad one week and we liked doing it with this smoked salmon. So it was okay, we're gonna do the smoked salmon on like a lentil arugula instead. And so we'll take different elements and kind of just switch them depending on what we're getting. And then every week all the deli sides will change completely. And we're looking for like our stars that'll hang out a little longer. Okay. So we have a chopped salad right now that I think having a chopped salad, it's pretty classic chopped salad, and I think people are starting to learn I can go there and get a great chopped salad for a really good value.
I was going to say at a reasonable price.
Yeah, that's really, really important. All of our wine, all of our grab and go food, our farm boxes, our produce, we're keeping at a really reasonable value because those are the things that I want the local community to come back for every day. So almost every deli side is about $8. Our chopped salad is $13. If there's our smoked salmon, pasta salad, our chicken salad, $10, $11. All of our glasses of wine range from $10 for sparkling to $15 for like a nice heavy red. So we're trying to keep things really reasonable. And then the craziest one is our farm boxes, which are just like packed with so much stuff every week. Those are $40. Okay. I really don't think you could go to like Vaughn's and buy the same things and it would be less than that.
Yeah.
So that is another thing where I'm trying to figure out other ways to supplement the cost it is to kind of keep those prices low. And we're lucky because a lot of these costs for us is low. Like our lettuce, we grow all our lettuce. So lettuce is cheap.
You got a leg up.
Right, yeah, that's easy. And it stays fresher.
And talk to me so you've got the luxury of sourcing from your own regenerative farm. Absolutely. You were saying they're doing
biodynamic or regenerative practices?
Yeah, not quite biodynamic.
Okay.
It's mostly in greenhouse. It's all in
Okay.
greenhouse really. And our head farmer, I mean, he's incredible. He has such an experience working with this greenhousing, but on dirt, right? It's not hydroponic. It's using dirt. And because it's such a self-contained environment, he can regulate all of like the microbiome created. We have our own
Wow.
little beehive in the greenhouse.
Oh,
So
cool.
everything is like kind of self-contained, and he's such an expert at it. He knows how to
Okay.
and it's very humid. We're now starting to grow tropical fruit in there. So we just planted papayas. We just are pulling our first ginger that is like this amazing young ginger. It's like pink, you can slice it thin and eat it raw almost.
Oh my goodness.
It's really cool.
Wait, what are you going to do with that?
Well, I'd love to use it here with, dressings and sauces, but I'm definitely going to make a bunch of pickled ginger. I'm definitely going to do a bunch of stir fries and kind of for our grab and goes and deli sides. I love doing like ginger bugs, right? Adding sugar, letting it ferment. Now you have kind of this starter to kickstart natural sodas. So a couple months ago, I was doing like strawberry ginger sodas that are all naturally carbonated. I'm starting my own kombucha. So using kind of the ginger as a Kickstarter as well, and doing like ginger kombuchas. We make our own vinegar. So I want to do a ginger.
You do shrubs?
Kind of shrubs, yeah. They're even stronger though. They're just like red wine vinegar was a big one. I did like, 20-gallon batch of that. So we'll definitely, using like fresh ginger juice. Another one is our carrot ginger, like apple juice. It'd be great to have our own ginger in it. Might be like, it's such a precious thing. It's so young. Maybe we won't use in that, but like these little ginger cayenne lemon shots is like little health shots we're trying to do.
Interesting.
So there's all these like fun things, and through preservation, through kind of all these ways it'll stay, right? This pickled ginger we can make now, I could be serving next year and it will still be amazing.
That is so cool. What would you say is like the most unique ingredient or like something crazy that you've done? I mean, okay, again, for context, we're only 5 weeks in and you're doing like everything you're talking about. It's like so much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But I mean, in the short 5 weeks, kind of what comes to mind?
I think the most unique thing that I've seen are our stone fruits. And we have some trees that are these varieties I've never heard of. One of them was a plum. They called it a cherry plum. Or a plum cherry, one of the two. And it was basically this little
Tiny?
It was plum sized, and it was yellow, and it looked like a little heart. And it was the most incredible like plum you've ever had. So Evan will come to the shop with just like the most amazing produce, and he like knows where all these things are growing on the property, and I don't even know where they are. Like there's a mulberry tree that I'm still trying to find. They don't want to tell me because I'll go eat them all, but like mulberries are this amazing product that don't really ship because they're so delicate. They kind of just like mush.
Yeah.
So I mean, we had mulberries in our farm boxes for a couple weeks, and before we opened, we had them. So these like berries and stone fruits that we're getting are pretty cool. I think those would be, and then it's not like a new ingredient, but I have not had a better cherry tomato than coming from our vines. And that is like the coolest thing when you walk into the greenhouse and it's hot, and the smell of tomato vines is so aromatic, and it's like you can't describe it. I actually had a buddy once who tried to like concentrate it and like get the smell in like a bottle and just couldn't do it. It's all of these things people are trying to, create that are like the cherries or the tomato vine. It's not the same than when you're there in person.
And those, when are those?
Yeah.
So since you're in a greenhouse, are those year round?
We're gonna do them year round.
You're doing those year round? Oh my goodness.
Production in the summer is going to be really, really high.
Right.
It's going to dip off in the winter, but we're still doing cherry tomatoes year round.
Impressive.
Yeah, that'll be cool. But a lot of these ingredients, it just feels like I've never had it before until I'm like trying it now. Or you eat a lot of stuff, especially in today's system of farming, you eat a lot of things that we don't question that they're kind of tasteless. A lot of like our veggies and fruits. We don't ask ourselves like why we're adding all this like sauce and salts and vinegars and sugars and cooking it and all these things. But if you just have it raw, it's pretty tasteless. So it's fun to like taste these things that I've just been eating my whole life. And I'm like, whoa, that's like, it's like concentrated that thing.
Wow.
But, so with like our lettuces, I feel that way a lot.
Okay. That's like awesome.
Like frisee, Like
Oh.
it's so bitter. Like ours is so bitter, so intense, so sweet. Like on the stem, it's hilarious. So
And
that's exciting for us.
That's okay. I'm like, I've got to have some frisee. And that's all because of the production, like the practices and the attention to detail and the care and the soil health. And it sounds like they're really dialed in. That's awesome. That's something special.
And they're as fortunate as me is that we have a community to serve, right? To feed it to, and a place to now, process it. I think a lot of farmers, you grow and then, you have to move it. And there's kind of this, Evan talks a lot about how of the value of the products you make can be, so high or so low. And it's all about just who's selling it. And that's I'm sure a lot of products in the world, but sales and marketing are just as important in farms as any other business. And a lot of these trendy farm brands about, their products might not be any better than your local farm, but farmers don't know how to market. They know how to grow. So it's finding these collaborations between people. It's really important. And that's, Evan's partner comes from a fashion background, design background. So she's able, she was the one that I think really pushed him to turn it into a brand, not just grow. Nice. And, she designed the logos, the boxes, all these things that have now created this kind of following for us.
It's really well done. Really well done.
Amazing job. Yeah.
So looking forward, I know you've mentioned that you guys want to take this, kind of push the envelope in terms of specialty ingredients. So what's your vision and what are you really excited about moving forward?
Moving forward, we're 5 weeks in. I'm starting to feel really good about our day-to-day operations, which makes me really happy because right now I'm opening, I'm closing, so I'm here a lot, and I love being here, which is the best part. Everyone I think who works here loves being here, which makes me feel really good. The next step now is going to be more events, right? Bringing this outside. So next month we have 2 community events where there's the Miners Oaks community garden is opening. We're gonna do a little pop-up there, basically provide all the food for it.
Oh, lovely.
There's also a food festival that's hosted by the Rotary Club every year in Libby Bowl. We're gonna have a little stall there. We're getting a lot of reach outs for local people that want to host their birthday parties here or do catering. So definitely hosting events here, but also being able to provide food for little luncheons or gatherings. That would be a big next push.
Yep.
And then for me, I come from this fine dining background. I love tasting menus. I love doing really crazy creative stuff. I really want to, I've already, thinking this list of ideas, but creating a dinner in the field situation that's really small, me and maybe one other cook, and we're just going to do, a 10 plus whatever course tasting menu that is just showcasing all of the stuff we're growing, and then a lot of really interesting technique and kind of creative flavor combinations that we'll hope to kind of excite everyone in the community. And
that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
now why wouldn't you do it here though?
The big thing for me is I did a lot of tasting menu stuff in New York, and I with a couple of friends, we actually hosted our own, it was like an omakase style meal where we were cooking in front of everyone. And what we realized really fast is being able to not just be in front of the people you're serving, but cooking in front of them, showing them what you're doing, showing where these things are coming from. And you're talking the whole time, right? You're discussing it. And it's, I think it's just an unbelievable experience for people to be part of. And it's hang out all night. It's a set price. Drink as much as you want. Are you still hungry? We'll keep feeding you. And check out this, cucumber, and then cutting it, putting it on their plate, and then serving it to them. So I think it's important to be in front of them. So then that way we don't have an outside kitchen anyways, where it could be really anywhere. So I think having it on our farm, looking over Casitas Lake, looking at our greenhouse, eating a tomato and staring at the vines that you're eating it from is, I think, a pretty cool thing. So that's coming. That'll be... Okay,
that's the ultimate dinner party.
Absolutely.
That sounds amazing.
I know. The big thing is just, you can only do it for 8 or 10 people if you're doing it for that intensity.
It's very exclusive.
It is. So maybe we'll get more people. We'll keep growing it and growing it. But, outdoor kitchen and all these little things. We're also expanding all of our products. That's a big thing. So right now as a company, We grow all our own olives that we're turning into our own olive oil. Everything is, we have a ranch in Paso Robles where all of the olives are cold pressed there. We make our own Syrah wine vinegar. We have our own soap. We have our own candles. We have like 10 different types of candles. We are raising a little herd of cattle, and we're going to start having our own beef that we're going to start.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll start bringing our own beef in. We have our own wine. So we grow our own grapes. We have 3 wines right now that we don't actually even have in the shop.
Okay.
We just did our tasting of our 2022 Cabernet Sauvignon to talk with our vineyard about how we're going to blend it. So that's getting bottled this week. We're working on collaborations with the local chocolate company, the local ice cream company. Came yesterday to try to talk about a collaboration. We're trying to I think it's important to really try to get more into the community. It's a coffee company. That's what it was. Carlos came by.
Yes.
So we're going to try to maybe have our own little Ojai Roots blend. And then also like slowly trying to buy more and more from the community. We just stocked a local, it's like a probiotic coconut kind of dairy replacement milk. It's really good. So I think the more things we can bring in from the local community, the better for all of us to showcase it. And then we kind of have this mix of like these really amazing retail products you can't really find here, and then also like, oh my god, that grows next to my house. That's so cool. So now for the locals that come every day, they get something new, and then for the tourists that come every day, they get to see both the local and kind of the fun. So there's a balance for sure.
It's incredible. And with really hyper local.
Yeah, try to
when you get down to it, within some special, international delicacies.
Absolutely. My favorite
for fun.
right now, I think that just the funniest thing to me is we buy all our cream and we culture it with buttermilk, and then actually culture it for a couple days and then churn it ourselves. We're making our own butter, and we're doing a preserved lemon butter right now.
Ooh.
The preserved lemon trees are those 2 trees behind us. So when I got here 4 months ago and those trees were full, we picked all of them, salted them, pressed them in their own juices, and for the last 4-6 months they've been just like curing. And it's so funny now. It's like,
finally
I'll serve someone their butter and say that's the tree right there that it came from. And so like it is hyper local, and it's even funnier that it's like in front of you.
Hyper.
I know. And like our surrounding backyard here, I want to start getting more citrus trees so I can start pulling all these lemons and actually using them like day to day. More herbs, so I'm never having we have herbs on our farm, but I don't ever want to have to buy herbs again. I just want to have everything grown around us, and we have the land around us to do it. So we should.
This is so lovely.
Lucky.
Well, Peter, you've been so generous with your time. Just one more question. Is there, if you could think of one thing that you wished more people knew about your business or about the industry at large?
Yeah. I think in general, we stick to a lot of big buzzwords about like produce, right? Organic, biodynamic, or whatever, locally sourced. And I think they're important titles that we find, and it can show people like, okay, these are all made in certain ways. But I think it's more important to just kind of know about where it's coming from versus, it's always harder if you're just going to a grocery store. It's very difficult.
Right.
But, I'm buying stuff that might not always be organic because the local farmer I'm buying it from is not going to spend the money to get organic certified. And it's still going to be better quality than anything else. So I think just knowing a little bit about where your food comes from. And I also think our balance of diet, right, of how much meat we're consuming, all these things, I think, I don't know, I think we can all adjust and it doesn't, everything has to be like perfect organic healthy, right? I think there's a balance. So it's okay to also buy the processed stuff. It's just knowing about, okay, how processed is it? Is that even really bread? Is that just fake batter? So I wish people maybe gave themselves a break, and it wasn't like, especially people come in here, they're like, I only eat everything. And I'm like, well, that's okay if you don't. And I have the comfort food that's not so healthy for you. It's good quality stuff, but it's still full of sugars that are honey, and so it's good quality sugars, but again, it's like
that's a whole sugar.
Right. It doesn't have to always be. So I think, I don't know, people need to give themselves a break, but also just slow down with like trying to keep up with all the titles and all the trends.
Yeah, it's hard, and that's really healthy perspective, I would say. And what we see time and time again is like a certified organic product, or
Right.
what might not be as nutrient dense and delicious as something that's grown by a small
Right.
family farmer that's doing, I mean, they're following even better practices, and
Right.
they're like taking care of the
Yeah.
soil, and so they're going beyond organic, but they're not paying for the certification just because
Right.
it's like red tape and super expensive,
It
and they
is.
can't afford it.
And it's cool when they have it. I think it's
Yeah.
like an easy way for people to know, like, okay, like if it's organic, then
Right.
I'm getting good quality stuff. So which is true. I think that with the wine a lot, it's really funny. You'll see, I'll have some wines that are like organic, biodynamic, all these things, and then some wines that's just like nothing, and they're like, we're 10 generations. We're not doing anything different than we did 10 generations ago. But we're also not changing anything or letting anyone come in and tell us what to do. So it's,
Nice.
what's better quality? I
Yeah.
don't know. So it's,
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to be in the know
Yeah.
either way. I think
tough.
that is
It's tough.
challenging for
Yeah.
the consumer, which is why the labels.
Yeah.
But
I think we get involved. Look, every community has a lot of CSA opportunities, right? I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah.
food deserts in the country, which is really tough. But I think for the most part, there are a lot of local organizations that are trying to create these, farm boxes, and they're trying to make it really convenient. I mean, we do one we deliver it, you can come pick it up, and most communities will have this, and they're these people that are taking all these local farmers and they're buying their products and they're packaging it all up for you. So it's a really easy thing that can be a source of really good high quality veggies in your diet and your family's diet for at least a couple meals a week, right? If you can't afford to every meal to be buying organic, which is true. I mean, I see the price differences when when I'm ordering things. It's, on average 50% more, right? Always, whenever I order anything. So, it's you take what you can get and go easy on yourself. And so I think if you can get some really good healthy stuff in your life, then you'll feel it, and it'll over time.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Farm Chef Peter, thank you so
you.
much.
Yeah.
Best of luck with everything here. I can't wait to come back for the field dinner.
Yes. Everything's gonna be
I'm gonna like keep you on speed dial. Like, when's that dinner happening?
We'll see. But ideally, right, every time you come back, it's gonna look completely different.
Yeah, okay.
That's our goal.
Well, I'm looking forward. This has been such a lovely visit. Can't wait for the next time. And really, we'll be with you, sending support from the Bay Area.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you so much.